Hello, this is Tom Seigel, Superintendent of the Bethel School District. I thought I'd take the time to make another short video to help keep you be informed about what's going on in the Bethel School District and the larger community. As you can tell, we're practicing social distancing, and our wonderful Director of Communications is miles away, but he's got this thing all set up so we can have this little discussion. It's been about 10 days since last time I had a video, back Tuesday last week, and we're recording it Thursday afternoon. Some of you will see this in the staff news tomorrow, and just want to give you an update of what's going on. As you know, first of all of our buildings are closed to normal business. There are essential services that we're continuing to provide even through this week, which, as you know, was supposed to be our spring break, or as I tend to refer to it, a time formerly known as spring break. There are some people who are actually taking vacation during this time, which is fine. They were all scheduled. But we have a crew that's really dedicated, that is on task and helping to perform the essential services that we said we would provide to help with the coronavirus epidemic response. In particular, right now we have 2 elementary schools with staff, including staff by our paras, as well as administrators and others, so that the children of the first responders and healthcare profession have a place to have their children when they're called to duty. And we have the 2 different sites. There are about a dozen children there per day, not a whole lot, but it certainly gives them an opportunity for childcare and also social distancing at the same time. Now, this last week, we were able to continue our food service operation. The week before, we had 10 food distribution sites. This week, we have 6, and next week, we'll have 8. We've actually seen the number of students at 2 of the sites at Camas Prairie Elementary and Grand-Kapowson High School actually increased over 800 students, each receiving 2 meals. So we're bringing back online 2 additional schools to help reduce the flood of cars that are going to these 2 particular sites. And in addition, we're also instituting bus delivery for those small number of students who just do not have any way, or the parents don't have any way to pick up the food. So we'll have buses on 8 routes, also delivering to the school bus stop sites starting next week. So we're going to continue to make sure our kids get fed, and we're going to do our part to make sure that happens. By the way, we've served over 60,000, that's 60,000 meals so far. And every student gets 2 meals, a breakfast and lunch, and we are averaging about 6,000 meals per day. I'd like to also mention in the last video, I mentioned Rosie the Riveter, and some of you may know I'm a bit of a historian. So this is my World War II reproduction of Rosie the Riveter. Yes, we can do it. I think you can see that now. And this was obviously a big thing, a major production from World War II. And by the way, Rosie the Riveter, if you want to go on Wikipedia, you can read about it. But it was actually a person, a woman who was working at a Boeing plant in Seattle, making B-17s, who was a model for this effort. And so it's the same idea. We can do this. We'll get through this coronavirus. We'll get kids back into school. We'll get life back to normal. This is not the first pandemic that we have faced. America had one in the 1919 period. We also had one in the 1957-58 period, which I'm old enough to actually remember. So we'll get through this. I'd also like to mention that our Power Pack deliveries are continuing. Those are food packets for our neediest kids. And through the generosity of a number of people in our community, the workers that are doing this, especially the churches, our faith leaders and faith communities have really stepped forward to box these food items up to make sure that we don't have kids over the weekend who are going hungry. We've been doing remote learning since virtually the start of this. We're certainly one of the first school districts in our area to begin remote learning because of, very frankly, the willingness of taxpayers to invest in the technology levy. 6 years ago gave us a great head start to have iPads, have the infrastructure, the bandwidth, the hotspots that are needed to make all this come together. And our staff, our teachers have done a wonderful job. I had the opportunity to see some very creative ideas about how they are connecting with the students. And I've gotten reports, including from a neighbor down the street. I had my dog out walking, trying to get some exercise. And he was out working, and I talked to him for a while. And he has 2 kids in our district, one at the elementary school and one of the high schools. And he said he was absolutely amazed at what's going on as far as the connections the teachers are making. He was very impressed. So congratulations to all of our teachers, all the teaching and learning staff, all the folks in our IT department, our technology department that are keeping all this working and running. And it's pretty remarkable what all our fine folks are able to do. You're to be congratulated. Now, we're going to continue this remote learning, and obviously it's not the same as having kids in front of teachers in the classroom with the social activity, the interactions that occur, but our teachers are doing their job and they're contacting our students, and the students are learning in a different mode. And frankly, we're still hoping that school will start on the 27th of this month, April. But very frankly, I have great doubts that that'll be the case. There's still word from the state the last day of school will be the 19th of June. There's no change on that. But if you listen to what Superintendent of Public Instruction and or the governor has said, the resumption of school on the 27th is something that's up in the air. In any event, we're going to continue up till the 27th to do everything we possibly can to make sure that remote learning opportunities continue and they're as good and as robust as possible. If it goes beyond the 27th, we will also make sure that that same level of quality is going to continue so that you can continue your learning that's so essential for you to be successful in the world. Obviously, we're doing some workarounds. There'll be some interesting things we'll have to do, but we're going to make sure that you are successful in getting the education that you need. I'd also like to mention that for our high school students, I understand that you probably feel that you're being cheated out of one of the most important years of your life. And I'm sorry, this is something I don't have any control over. I want you to have a successful senior year. You need to make sure you do the homework, you do your studies. You may want to make sure you have a schedule, just like you have at school. You get up at a certain time, get breakfast. In this case, go do the emails from the school to the studies, just so you have a regular setup routine to help reinforce the need to get this work done. If you do the work, you show your best effort, you will be successful. We will make sure that you are able to graduate if you get your work done. And if you need help, contact the teacher, the counselor, or the administrator that you need. But if you do the work, we are going to get you over that finish line. I'd also like to mention that we're really proud of our teachers. We're proud of everybody in the Bethel team that's making an effort, but they've really gone and done a superb job in a very short period of time. Right after the start of the closure of schools, the next day we had an opportunity for them to come together and plan what it was going to look like in the future. And they've done a really great job in making this all come together. So my kudos, my congratulations to them for really stepping up to the plate. As this situation evolves, we will continue to make plans, and we will let you know what those are. Right now, again, we're going to work toward the 27th of the month as the start of school date. But again, as I mentioned, if that doesn't come to fruition, we'll figure out what has to be done and continue on, and we will certainly communicate that with you. I'd like to take a moment to thank the parents who are working in partnership with our teachers to continue the education of our kids. And I understand it's probably stressed, having kids home all day long while you may be cooped up in the house. It could be an opportunity for you to thank a teacher in the future. But I want you to know that we are going to get through this, and things are going to get better. We aren't through all this, the worst part yet, but we will get there and we'll get things going in the right direction. Your students will have an opportunity for the great education that they deserve so they can be successful in the future. And just hang in there and keep as much of a sense of humor as you possibly can. I suggest when we do have these rain breaks that you get out and get some exercise. How you physically feel affects how you emotionally feel. And certainly know there's more than enough opportunity for stress right now with everything going on. So that's basically it. I just want to, again, thank you. I want to thank all the people on the Bethel team, our pairs, even our mechanics that are still working, keeping our buses and trucks working, all the folks who are providing food service, campus security, all the folks who make Team Bethel possible. And I can't list all of the different folks who are involved with this, but we have about 2,600 people that work in Bethel, either full-time or part-time. And it's truly amazing what you're doing. You've really gone the extra mile, doing a terrific job of making this as smooth a period of time as possible, making it as productive as possible for our kids to make sure they get a good education. So with that, I want to thank you very much for listening to this. I'm probably longer winded than you ever imagined, but I just wanted to, again, thank you and let you know what's going on. And if there's interest, we'll continue to do these videos so that you can keep up to date on what's going on. Thank you very much.